As most of you know, I've lived here in Menlo Park almost my entire life. And when you live in a place for many, many, many years, in my case almost a lifetime, you develop a kind of deep connection to that place. If you're aware of what's around you, you become connected with what you see around you, including the plants and the trees, and the flowers, the landmarks. In a special way, there is a deep connection that can develop. And in some sense, some of the so-called unconscious beings, or plants and trees, become like friends or family. And their passing brings a certain sadness, and their presence in your life brings joy. For me, one of those beings, one of those plants that had a special meaning was this scraggly bush on Robley Avenue, right by the sidewalk in front of an apartment house. And it has these little tiny flowers in it that were like pink and white and really, really pretty flowers. Very, very small though. And the bush had tiny leaves. I remember having kind of like thorns on it. And this particular bush was not well kept for. And it was always struggling. I had noticed it over a period of a year or 2 years and taken pictures at various points, but it was always very clearly struggling. It was the pictures that I enjoyed most about that bush were ones where the sun would be setting back behind the bush, behind the building next door, and the light would just shoot through the bush in all kinds of unusual angles, creating shadows and highlights and darkness that built wonderful patterns and unusual patterns, and I loved taking pictures of those. And last summer, in the summer of, 2 summers ago now, in the summer of 2013, I noticed that bush was really, really struggling, and it was dying. The owner was letting it die. And if you look at the pictures from that time, and one day in particular, there is this kind of beauty that bush had, even though it was passing, it was going away, it was dying. And that beauty had a special power in the moments of twilight, in the late afternoon moments, as the sun was setting behind it. Finally, there was one day I came and it was just gone. There may have been a point where it was kind of intermediate, that had been cut back. It was just gone. And all that was left was a little mound where the uprooted bush had been. And another friend was gone. Remembered in my mind, remembered in the pictures that I do, remembered in an essay that I call In the Dying Light.